Welcome everybody to the MiniMapCast. This is MiniMap.com.au's weekly games podcast, your favorite weekly games podcast. I almost slipped up.
Almost.
My name is Kerry Palmer, almost slipping up over here, and joining me is a arrested Jeremy Bratitich? Question mark?
I'm going to jail?
No, rested.
Oh, I thought you said...
Are you a rested Jeremy? That's very funny.
Arrested Jeremy. It's like punished snake. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm more rested than I was last week. That's for sure, which is funny because I'm probably on
one day after Melbourne International Games Week.
Yeah, I'm probably on honestly the same amount of sleep that I was. But at the very least I've been at home more. And it's been over a week now since I've been at PAX, and I have tested negative on every rat that I've done. And luckily, from what I can gather, most people that I know, nearly everyone that I know and met at PAX, has not got COVID, which is good.
That's great. Especially when you consider that a bunch of the people that you met were on plane flights as well.
Yeah, like on planes, going to parties, going to events, catching up with people. Like it was all a big mingling weekend. And it's all, and it's luckily it seemed to be, like I know people did go to PAX and then did get COVID because of it, but like it for the most part it seems to have been all right.
Yeah, that is good. It's heartening to hear.
And it's also good because it was a week before, for some reason, our restrictions changed again to make it easier for people to get COVID. And all of that happened just after Games Week. So people weren't knowingly going to PAX with it. Hopefully.
Hopefully that's,
But just been catching up on stuff, trying to see what I missed at the convention, replying to emails and stuff. Got some keys for some games that I played, so I can try and talk about them more. Hopefully next week I'll be able to get to some of those.
Excellent. Well, thank you as always, as every week, Jeremy, as every week for joining us, incarcerated Jeremy. We're gonna get on with the show. We're gonna start her up here with the intro. But yeah, we're still doing the little experiment where we do the topic of the show at the front of the show, and then we'll get to what we've been playing in the second half.
Yeah.
If you've got any thoughts about this, we're still, trying it out. It's a bit loosey-goosey, see how we feel about it. If you like it more than you liked the other ones, let us know. If you dislike it more, let us know. If you have no opinion either way, you can also let us know that, although I don't know how you bring that up, but
you could just say,
give it a go.
You could just say it's good either way. But if it's bad either way, I don't want to hear
it. Yeah. Positive feedback only, please. Or constructive feedback.
Yeah.
I like constructive feedback.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, let's get into it. You can catch us every week on any podcast platform of your choice, or you can watch us on Twitch as we record the show live, and on YouTube as well if you want to see the video feed on demand. If you like what you're hearing, if you like what you're watching, please give the show a positive rating wherever you're listening to us or watching us. And if you want to join us as we record the show, sit in chat, heckle us from the sidelines. We are live every Monday from 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern. Oh, is it daylight time now, Jeremy?
I don't know. The Melbourne Sydney time.
Yeah. Southeast corner of Australia time.
Sydney on the same time zone as us now. Still,
most of the time, that's unified with the daylight savings. I think for a time it wasn't, but I think at the moment it is.
It is. I checked.
Yeah. So yeah, like I just said before, during and after the show, we do hang out with chat. So, during the break, we'll be chatting to people, talk about stuff. We were talking about what we're going to be doing for next week's topic with Sam before in the chat. So yeah, it's a great time. If you've got the time and you want to contribute and you want to hang out with us while we do this, we'll be here every Monday, 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard or Daylight Time. Be sure to keep up to date with us. What?
Daylight
Time. AEDT. Aid. No, maybe not. Be sure to keep up to date with us when we post a new episode or anything else from minimap.com.au. You can do that by following our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch accounts. All of those are at MiniMapAU. That's all of those. The @MinimapAU. For example, it's a good way to know when we post an episode each week. Like last week's episode where we did Jeremy's whole big PAX rundown. The Melbourne International Games Week sort of decompress, as it was.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Which was a great time. You could hear all about Steamcore, the baffling play-to-partner game that Jeremy played and interviewed for at the time.
More on that later.
We have an exciting follow-up for that one this week. Jeremy's continuing the story. We also wanted to... Oh, and next week as well, we think we're going to do something a little Halloween-y, a little Halloween-y.
Like a Jawa
reference for you, yeah. We've tentatively titled that one "The Psychological Deconstruction of Kerry Palmer," so stay tuned for that one next week. We wanted to say thank you to Shook for letting us use the Moog Model D Improv as the music for the MiniMapCast. You can listen to more of Shook's music at shook.bandcamp.com. And finally, if you want to help us keep the lights and mics on, you can throw $5 our way to become one of our patrons. It helps us to continue to do this. You can ask us questions to answer on the podcast, or you could do what we suggested a couple of weeks ago, which was tell us to shut the fuck up. Wasn't that one of the things we said you could do if you supported us on Patreon?
Yeah, of course, go for it. Do it. You won't do it.
And if you're thinking about it, you're looking at the tiers, just know that it's as cheap as a latte with oat milk. You could do that by going to patreon.com/minimapau. Do that as in support us there with money.
With money.
I just wanted to let that pause go just for a little second. So we're not talking about what we've been playing next, although it's a lot of rhythm-based games to talk about this week, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But before that, we're going to talk about the topic of the show for this week. We're doing a ranking. We're doing another ranking. Like, was the last one that we did? Was that the Mario ranking where we ranked every Mario game, quote unquote?
Yes, it was. It was that.
Okay. Bit of a fever dream, that one, where we ranked like 89 games or something.
Yeah, that was great.
It was really, really fun. This is the Apex Legends ranking. We're going to rank all of the Apex Legends, which is... I was thinking this is going to be pretty simple, but it's actually been many years since that game launched with 8 characters, and now there's more than 20. So what we're going to be doing this week is we're just going to be... We've thrown it to another bracket, which I think is good.
Yeah, I think, yes.
And so what we're looking at here is we're looking at... How many rounds and brackets have we got here?
23.
23 rounds. And what's the... Some of these round 2s are already filled, so we've got like a pre-round to...
Yeah, the way that works, that's how that works.
Okay, so the winners of round 1 are going into round 2, which are already populated with half of the contestants.
Yes, that is correct.
So we're not seeing the 100% matchup. But yeah, this is going to be pretty good. Now, Jeremy also opted to include some of the Apex Mobile Legends in here, which is fine, except I haven't played the game and he has. So I'm going to be looking up some of these as we go and just see how far they make it.
It's also worth pointing out that the Apex Legends mobile characters are not free-to-play characters. You have to pay money for them, and therefore I have not played as them either.
You just played against them.
I've just played against them, so it's going to be purely based on the vibes of these characters.
Okay.
So, yeah. There's only 2, so it's not going to like completely throw it out. But there are two wild cards which we'll be able to guess the vibes of these folk.
Okay, so our first matchup for round 1, we have Rhapsody, who is an Apex Legends mobile character, and we have Watson. What is Rhapsody's shtick? I'm watching her gameplay trailer right now.
Yeah, so Rhapsody I think is music based, like a DJ.
Music based.
Yeah.
Soldier.
Yeah, you got a like a. Do you have a You got a bio there at all? I was gonna say biopsy.
I'm watching a trailer, but it's a cinematic.
Maybe chuck it to the wiki and see what it says.
Chuck it to the wiki.
Watson, however, a very funny French,
like electrical engineer.
Yeah,
right?
electrical engineer. Lot of cute puns. I quite like Watson.
She's the person who designed the circle that comes in around the map, which is cool.
I kind of love that detail. I kind of love how active the battle royale, like its tangibility in the universe is real. Like it's a thing. Like it's the games, right? You know, it's the thing that they compete for. It's a thing that players will try and get in and out of depending on who's in there. They use it for their own advantage and their own revenge, and they like the characters themselves fuck it up and you know have a direct impact on the battle royale itself. As opposed to just like you're fighting each other and there's a ring that's closing.
Yeah, totally. And like it plays into that whole thing where they start having like relationships and friendships, and like how Caustic is sort of like they're like science buddies, and he's quite paternal towards her, which is weird. And it's interesting the way they do that. So Watson's a very affable character. She's quite fun and funny and quick and spirited. As a legend though, as a gameplay sort of mechanic, I don't love her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because she places her fences, and she's got like a trophy system, deletes grenades and missiles nearby, and recharges your shield thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of it.
Look, I think that for the most part, the mobile characters are going to lose only because we don't really care for them that much. Do we like this robot more than we enjoy Watson? I think is where I'm going to leave it.
That robot, that little doggy robot is cute. I do like the sound of Rhapsody's abilities. Mm-hmm. So Rhapsody's passive it involves this sort of the visual aid that you get on like a mobile battle royale where you can visualize the footsteps. So hers is more detailed and has a longer range, that sort of visual indicator of sound.
Mm-hmm.
Her active ability is it's a powerful. It plays a track. It provides a movement boost to the player,
right,
and
like
teammates.
Sort of like Lucio.
Sort of like Lucio from Overwatch. Yeah. And it heals people's shields by 2 bars as well. So that's interesting. Interesting to just have on hand, sort of this sort of pseudo buff, like a pseudo support character almost. He's a quick little rally. And then there's a rave. Rhapsody summons her robot, creates a gigantic disco-themed wall that protects her and her teammates if nearby. The wall is 10 meters tall, 25 meters wide. Is it just a wall?
I have no idea. I've not played against or with this character.
Players outside the wall cannot see what's inside the wall, although anyone can be shot from either side of the wall. Oh, okay. So it's like a
smoke screen.
It's like a big one-way mirror.
Yeah, right.
That you can shoot through.
Right, okay.
That's interesting. I like the idea of that in terms of playing as a character, but I don't know much, if anything, about her. What do you reckon?
I like that she looks like Kate Bishop. She's got the exact same outfit as Kate Bishop from Hawkeye. Like identical, like the same, like 3-strap
tactical gear, purples.
The purple.
Trendy haircut.
Yeah. We can go Rhapsody.
Great. Okay. Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
How do we? Wow.
Don't know, but report score Rhapsody.
Wow. Well, good work, Rhapsody. You're running away with it early on.
All right.
Good luck in the next round.
Up next,
who's next?
Caustic versus Revenant.
This is difficult. We got the edgy boys. Yeah. We've got Mr. Caustic D'Onofrio. We've got one of his voice lines. Nothing makes me feel more alive than rapidly approaching my death, or whatever it is.
Yeah. And then you don't like either Revenant. Of these characters, I think.
I don't like either of them as characters.
Yeah.
I love playing as Caustic though. I love his poison gas traps and his gas grenade. What's Caustic's passive?
I don't know.
Is it just seeing through the smoke?
Maybe.
Huh.
Something that I quite like about Revenant is I think it's always funny to climb up a very tall wall like a little spider crab man. Like
Yeah, Revenant's really funny because his passive is when he crouches, he moves way faster than any other legend.
Yeah.
So he's got this weird sort of butt shuffle.
But
But he can also climb walls like way longer than anyone else.
I kind of want to vote for Revenant just because he's kind of a General Grievous type character. He's a very angry robot.
He is quite grievous.
His voice lines are hilarious. Whenever they're in the middle of a battle and he needs something, he will yell them at the
I need a backpack!
Yeah, at like the top of his robot lungs. I also am not really a big fan of the datification of Caustic. I quite liked him as a villain, and now he's just kind of like a goofball.
Yeah, he's a clown.
Yeah,
all the time.
I kind of want to. I am more of a fan of Revenant myself.
But I feel like Caustic's ability set is way more interesting and useful than Revenant. Like, you just don't see that many Revenants, you know?
Yeah, but his Revenant's ult is very good, that you can just like dive into a fight and get thrown all the way back.
Yeah, because it respawns you back at the thing that you place. Yeah.
It's tricky. Like, I'm happy with either of these because I quite like both of them. I don't really want either of them to be knocked out so early, but you know, we have to choose one.
I personally don't have that much of an affinity for Revenant. I would
go
definitely Caustic. I have a stronger feeling towards Caustic personally.
Caustic it is. All right.
Revenant is very funny to play with though on the team.
Wraith and Ashe.
Wraith versus Ashe. This is another similar matchup.
Yeah, I like Wraith more. I think the portal by itself, a lot of my feelings on these characters are going to be completely hijinks related. You know, like what hilarious thing can I do? With these silly characters in my sandbox. And I think that the portal has caused me to laugh quite a lot. Ashe is very self-serious, and I think it's weird that they made an NPC type character that is a commentator a character without really changing much.
You know why that is though, right?
Is it because she can just have multiple versions of herself?
No, it's because she was in Titanfall 2. So, like, she was a character before Apex.
Oh, yeah, I know that. But, like, okay, in that case, it's points down because Titanfall 2 is not a very good game.
Fuck off. Shut up. Stop saying things to make me angry. It works.
I enjoy the tidbit of lore that Wraith's portal, like, phase shifty thing is like a weird dimension hopping thing that she can bump into herself with.
And like
I think that's cool as hell.
Yeah, and like her passive where like she will tell herself if she's being aimed at is like one of her previous selves being like, you're being aimed at.
Yeah.
That is cool. And that when you're going through the portals, you see all the ghost images of other people.
It's other wraiths. Like it's like not online wraiths, but it's like it's other versions of herself that she's seeing.
In terms of the lore, in terms of the design and the way the character works, it's she's one of the coolest. Definitely.
Do we want to?
Ashe is very edgy, you know, very similar to Revenant, where she's like, I'm just gonna kill you because I want to murder you. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sick. But she does have a rat.
She does have a rat. The rat is good. Wraith doesn't have a rat.
Wraith doesn't have a rat.
She doesn't have a rat.
Wraith has the really cool outfit, the Phase Walker outfit with the helmet, the Void Walker helmet.
Yeah. Wraith's got some cool outfits.
Yeah. Like Ashe's abilities are cool, but I think Wraith is so much more unique and interesting, both on a design conceptualization standpoint and mechanically as well.
Yeah, Ashe's ability to know where a killer is kind of like, it's not, I don't know how useful it really is to know who killed someone. Like when you find their death box and like, oh, they're over there. Like unless they're like really close, it's kind of like, oh, there's someone on the map.
Yeah, if you're watching the map and you're seeing the death boxes as they appear, it means you know where a team is.
Sure,
like
totally.
It can be quite good for pinpointing people like that. But yeah, it's pretty situational.
Yeah.
I think it's Ashe. I mean, I think it's Wraith.
I think it's Wraith too. Sorry, Ashe. We're out of here.
You're Ashe to here. No.
Rampart and Newcastle.
Another similar matchup.
Yeah,
We've got two very defensive characters
here. Characters. That whole thing is like building walls.
This is so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel a little like this leaderboard thing knows what it's doing.
Yeah, right. Rampart's LMG thing is pretty cool. The ability to like run and gun LMG.
Say it properly.
I don't know what. Say what properly?
Sheila.
Oh no! I didn't mean that. I just meant like the passive of like LMGs of like.
Oh, the passive LMG,
yeah.
not the ult.
Yeah.
Right.
But
what is it? It's faster reloads on LMGs.
Yep.
But that's good because they're the longest reloading weapons in the game.
Rampart, I think, is actually one of the most underused characters because I think her energy buff, her damage buff for the walls is incredibly useful.
Right.
That being said, Kerry, I'm gonna tell a little story about something that happened not too long ago.
I was telling the story to friends that weren't there yesterday.
You and I,
please.
So for those who don't know, one of Newcastle's abilities is if you have a downed teammate, you can revive them, and also a small shield will pop up while you're reviving them, and you can drag them away. You can grab them and say, "Hey, we're getting out of here." You can drag them in any direction. Say, "Hey, guess what? We're going this way. You and me, we're gonna take you out of this fight, so I can get you up." And there's a little shield to defend us. Newcastle's very defensive.
It's so much more useful than literally every other character where you're stuck, you're committed to a location to revive someone.
Yeah, like short of Mirages, like we're going to do this invisible, which is useful. Yeah. But this is really a really good way to get out of a fight. Because it's also quite fast as well. And we were in the middle of a firefight. And
in the middle of a building on some staircases.
And you had been knocked down, and I wanted to kill the enemy. So I started to revive you, and I grabbed you by like the shoulders to like puncture your lungs with this like injection needle with a shield up, and I ran straight for the enemy using you as a shield. I had the shield.
You did. I'm like, Jeremy, no, it's not safe. They're there. Jeremy, stop it.
I grabbed you by the body and put you in front of me so I could get right up against the enemy. And
literally a human shield.
And it put me in fucking tears. I was crying with how funny this was.
It really was that funny.
And like, look, that to me is a winner. That's gonna like I love Rampart. I think Rampart's design is awesome. I really like the LMG thing. But
and like her personality as well is really fun.
Totally. But
I think Newcastle's I think he's so bland.
He's not the most interesting character, but that being said, like I think his ult is hilarious as well. The just jump in the air and just create like this fort instantly on one of your teammates is so funny.
Yeah, just launch like you can target them through walls and just come out of nowhere and just like Iron Man smash upon them.
It's hilarious. I also think his design is really cool as well. I actually really like his look, his armor. I think is pretty sick. I don't know. What do you reckon?
I think you've convinced me. I think Newcastle has a bit more utility.
I don't know how far this is going to take Newcastle because it's kind of like
exactly.
But I loved it.
Personally, I think these are two of the weaker legends in general.
Right.
So I agree. I don't think either of them are making it very far, no matter who wins.
Right. Newcastle, it is. When it loads.
Little bracket. Oh, it's not liking it. All right.
Bangalore versus Octane. Fuck Bangalore.
Whoa. You hate Bangalore? Or you hate? Do you hate playing as Bangalore, or do you just hate having to listen to Bangalore?
I hate having to listen to Bangalore. Team. Bangalore is the worst fucking character. This jarhead fucking soldier that loves to talk about guns and is like
and correct people.
Bangalore's a cop. All cops are bastards. So fuck Bangalore. I have no level of respect for Bangalore.
Oh, you see, I have a soft spot in my heart for Bangalore, not because any of that Jarhead stuff. You're right, the stuff's not particularly appealing. Although it is funny listening to people get annoyed by it when you don't really care too much
Every
about
time. She says
the
says
clips
FNG
in the magazines
a bunch.
and the...
She says fucking FNG all the time, and it's like, shut up. The worst.
But I have a soft spot in my heart for her because she was the first character I really vibed with in this game.
Right.
At all. I couldn't really get the hang of anyone when I first started playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
But Bangalore, I understood and I could utilize most effectively. She was the person I had the most kills with for a really long time.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. She's one of the classics. You got the smoke grenade, you got the fast run, you got the airstrike. I don't think the airstrike's particularly been that useful for me ever. But it's good to throw down and wait to see if it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Octane's interesting. He was the first additional character.
There was two. It was Octane and Crypto at the same time. Or Octane and Caustic were at the same time.
No, they weren't.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there were 2 additional characters on launch.
So on launch, there were 6 already unlocked characters, and then there were 2 locked characters, and it was Caustic and Mirage.
Oh.
And then Octane was the Season 1 legend.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So Octane was the 9th legend, the first one that wasn't there at the very start of the game.
Right.
He's got his speed boost stim, which hurts him a little bit, makes him run super fast. He's got his bounce pad, and he's got his passive health regeneration.
I do love the bounce pad. The shenanigans the bounce pad has caused over the years, I think is pretty fucking good.
It's fun to use. It can make for some really silly situations, like when you throw it at a doorway and people can't get out.
So good.
That's so funny.
So fucking good.
Or when you throw it at like just outside a doorway and people do run out, but then they're like, ah!
Being able to drive the vehicles over it, excellent. Really good.
Yes. And also, like, he's been like mechanically quite competitive and engaging and difficult to master and incredibly strong in terms of the meta, if we want to go that far, if we want to invoke that particular term,
the sacred term.
He's fun to listen to with his voice lines. He's a cool character. He's fun to play. I do think it is Octane.
I do think it's Octane. As well.
Yeah, but there's a moment there for Bangalore.
Fuse and Gibraltar.
This is an interesting matchup. So we got Cheers Big Ears Fusey over here.
Yeah.
And then we got Gibby My Shields a Recharge over in the other corner.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. These are two very gregarious characters.
Yeah.
They're quite Fuse is a bit of a dick.
Yes.
And Gibraltar is like the biggest, friendliest teddy bear.
Yeah. Everybody's brother.
Yeah, but Fuse is not that mean most of the time. He can be a little brash, but he's having a good time, and he doesn't want to make anyone else feel bad.
Yeah, Fuse is cocky and like a brat.
Yeah, but he's not cruel.
Yeah, he's never vicious. There's never venom in his voice. It's always just like yeah, fucking go for it, whatever. Like he's
sensible.
Oh, I don't know if he's sensible, but he's at least not. It's never personal.
Yeah, definitely.
You're just another one.
Pardon?
You're just another one to him. Just another guy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The one thing that sets me on edge with Fuse when you listen to his voice lines is because you can pick something up from, like, someone can ping something and then your teammate can pick it up. And if that teammate then thanks Fuse, the "you're welcome" prompt for Fuse is, "All right, don't ever cry about it." It's like, shut the fuck up. Why are you going to say that? There's no reason to come in like that.
But he's got the dirtiest stash.
He does. And like he's got a lot of other good lines. There's bloody hell. You look like bloody hell. He's got a really good, genuine Aussie accent in a game. You don't see that often.
Cheers very much is great. It's really good.
Yes. And but then on the other side, well, yeah, you've got Gibraltar, who's just so happy all the time. He's like, he's telling you to get up, brother, and
yeah. He's I don't know. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky.
Sam despises Fuse. Or maybe we should talk about their mechanics. Fuse is very interesting because he's got that. He can throw grenades way further and carry more of them. He's got his mortar launcher, his ring of fire, and that's it. That's all of Fuse. I don't use him that much. Oh, and his knuckle clusters. His tactical rechargeable grenades. I don't use him that much, but he is quite useful in certain situations. Gibraltar? What's he got? He's got his airstrike ultimate. He's got his bubble shield. And I don't know what his passive is. Is it picking people up inside his dome is faster? Is that his passive?
I don't remember what his passive is.
Yeah. Neither do I. Oh, it's his arm shield.
Oh, of course.
It's his aiming shield.
Yeah.
Man.
What I think
play either of these characters.
What I like about both of these characters is that Gibraltar is gay and Fuse is pan, which is fun. I didn't realize that Gibraltar was gay. In his biography, he only began to understand the value of protecting others when he and his boyfriend stole his father's motorcycle, took it on a joyride, and got trapped by a deadly mudslide, which is sad. I don't really know much about Gibraltar. Like, he's kind of not that connected to the story at large, I want to say.
Yeah, he's just kind of always been there.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Fuse's arrival at King's Canyon meant that Maggie blew the whole thing up. And
yeah, the storyline between Fuse and Maggie I have quite enjoyed, even from just, like, looking at loading screens, right? There's not really a whole lot of, like, active storytelling, aside from if you want to read the chapters, which I don't.
Yeah. I think Gibraltar's one of the few heroes who hasn't really gotten a cinematic from one of the original launch characters, right? Like,
yeah,
we've had ones for Wraith, Bloodhound, Pathfinder, Bangalore, but yeah, Gibraltar. Yeah, for those who don't go into the like comics and the hidden lore entries on the charms and the legendary skins, yeah, there's not much for him.
Yeah. Oh, look.
I think that gives Fuse an edge, but it's not a tight race. It's just kind of this is a bit of a I don't know you two that well.
Yeah, I think I enjoy Fuse as a rascal, as a rapscallion, more than I enjoy the brotherly love of Gibraltar. I think
that's fair enough. I do always enjoy hearing "Gibby, my shields are recharged."
Always.
Which he doesn't actually say. He says giving my shields a recharge.
But I get it.
His name's Gibby.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna start pumping through these a little bit quicker.
You're right.
Valkyrie and Seer.
Two newer characters.
I love Seer.
Seer is so fun. The season when Seer launched and he was kind of busted.
Absolutely broken.
Because he could see heartbeats through walls. He can send out a very directional scan. And then his bubble, his like scan bubble, he could just tell where people are. That's all of what his different abilities are. And the sounds on the map, just constantly hearing his tactical as he was casting his scanner ability, was so fun.
That and his cinematic is awesome.
Yeah, he's such a cool character. This sort of almost like magical occult tall boy.
Like Valkyrie's cool. We love a jetpack. We love a jump in the air. Seer is just so fucking cool.
True. I enjoy Valkyrie's personality in game more than I enjoy Seer's. Seer's quite muted and I think can kind of just sit in the background, except for when he says, "Oh, I need that."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, I like that." Yeah. Valkyrie is so
active.
Put it in the pipe. 555. I don't know. The way she's talking, it's kind of like if Bangalore wasn't awful.
Kinda,
a bit.
yeah.
You know, she's got a bit of enthusiasm and energy.
Yeah, she like Valkyrie exists in like the Top Gun universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's tricky for me. I think I prefer Sia in game, but I like Valkyrie's character more. What about you?
Like, I think, yeah, like Sia in game, Sia's character in game is not much, but like I think the cinematic plus, like his gameplay, the jetpack is cool for Valkyrie, but it never felt like it's not a very fast jetpack. When you fly up, you can still very easily get shot. Whereas and
you can't use your gun while you're gaining air.
Yeah, I think I prefer Sia personally. Plus, the hat is so cool.
Yes,
the hat is so cool.
Yeah, and like Sia's sexy, you know?
Yeah, yes, yes, he is.
Like Sia's great.
Yes. All right, Sia. Done. Loba and Crypto.
Loba and Crypto. This is interesting. I've never really liked Crypto too much. He's sort of that off the grid hacker character.
Yeah, look, I must admit, I think that Crypto sometimes can extend the length of a game that maybe should have just ended there.
Yeah, because he could pick up your banner and he could be out of the fight.
And look, a lot of the time it's my fault, but I think that sometimes, like, quick game's a good game. Like, let's just get to it, right? Like,
but sometimes, Jeremy, we win when we wouldn't have otherwise. Sometimes we die, except for our Crypto. Our Crypto picks us up, we come back, and then we win.
I know.
It's hard.
It is hard.
His abilities are cool. Like, I like having the ability to put the drone somewhere and then see the enemies through walls. The EMP shock is funny. Like, that's cool.
That being said,
very situational.
When Loba uses her ult, it like gets everybody's attention. Your entire
it does get everybody's attention.
No, like in a good way. Like your whole team, like you're on Loba. You're using Loba. Always useful. You can be the worst teammate ever and still put down a Loba shot, and it would be useful.
Totally. Always got ammo. You've always got heals.
I love her.
Better guns if you need them.
I love her attitude. She's hilarious.
Yeah, she is pretty good.
And I love.
What is it? All the thanks, beautiful.
Yeah,
and, Don't mention it, darling.
Yeah. Like, let's go. Like, I'm in pumps or whatever. Plus, like the arm bracelet. I think Loba's like a really great all rounder.
Yeah, that's true. Like, Loba's teleporting bracelet is one of the best active abilities in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loba it is, I think, for me.
You haven't even got Crypto.
I do need to say that. Newcastle and Crypto are the two characters I haven't played.
We've got Fade and Rhapsody, the two mobile game characters.
Two mobile characters. All right, what's Fade's deal? Let me look that up.
So Fade was the first mobile character. Fade looks like the Predator, kinda.
Yeah, with like a dreadlock ponytail.
Yeah.
I suppose the Predator's kind of got dreadlocks, which is not great when you think about it. The Legend's passive ability Slipstream is extremely straightforward. After coming out of a slide, Fade is given a speed boost, rivaling Octane for becoming the fastest playable character. It's on a 10-second cooldown, meaning you're not able to gun it all the time, but he's very fast. Tactical ability Flashback is essentially the same as Trace's Recall. So you press the button and he goes back in time about like 5 seconds. He just teleports backwards.
Yeah.
And then his ultimate is the Phase Chamber. When activated, throws the Phase Chamber that acts like a grenade, but instead of dealing major damage, it transports everyone hit by it into the void. This immediately marks them on the map and temporarily blocks most of their abilities, like firing their weapons, using abilities, and healing. Wow, that's intense. Sort of a get in quick and debuff them kind of a character. That's interesting. And as a reminder, the Rhapsody's abilities were It was extended visual hearing. It was the big wall that you can see through one way. And I don't remember what her active ability was.
I don't remember. Look, I don't particularly like Fade. I think Fade looks like a knockoff Call of Duty character. And to me,
Rhapsody's design is much more fun.
And to me, based on vibes alone, I think Rhapsody's cooler.
Great, done.
Cool, done. Rhapsody.
This will get faster because we wanted to introduce the characters going forward, but we do still have new characters that we haven't gotten to yet.
Mad Maggie and Caustic.
So Caustic, the Poison Lord, Poison Dad, and then we've got Mad Maggie, who's Fuse's best friend turned enemy.
Yeah,
she's just a New Zealand chaos goblin. She's just very brash and rude and will be upset and try to kill you all the time. I don't know. I don't love her character, but it is fun listening to her call people eggs.
Yeah, that's good. I do enjoy the Kiwi-ness of her.
Hearing like Kiora, like that's really great.
I think Caustic's cooler.
I prefer Caustic to play. And we've had so much fun laughing at his voice lines compared to Maggie.
Yeah. All right.
I'm happy with that.
Caustic, done. Vantage and
All right,
Wraith.
who's next? Vantage and Wraith. So Vantage is the brandest, newest character. She's a socially awkward, sniper.
Yeah.
With a bat.
I'm gonna say I don't really. I think Vantage needs a rework pretty immediately.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of her ult.
You're not a fan of her always having a sniper as playing her or as being on the other side of her?
Like functionally, I don't think it's a thing. I think it functions different to all the other ults in a way that I don't particularly think fits. Her being able to use the sniper rifle before it reaches 100%, because one bullet in the chamber.
No, it just reaches 100% 5 times.
It's the same thing. I don't like it. I don't like having multiple ults. Or rather being able to stack an ult. I think what it should be is you can pull out your sniper rifle and you have 5 shots once it reaches 100%. And you can put it away and you can get that charge back. But it to me it needs to be more like
special.
Like Rampage's thinger.
Sheila. Yeah. That is one that I'm pretty sure she could stow it and then pull it out and stow it and pull it out once she's activated it.
Yeah, but you can't you don't get.
You can't pull it early.
Yeah, you can't pull it early and use like half of the ammo that you usually would. I also just once again, Wraith is just so fucking cool.
Yeah, Wraith is cool. I really enjoy playing as Vantage, especially with another sniper. Her drop indicator is excellent because that's something I really struggle with. That way I know where to aim, and then it only becomes about timing rather than not even knowing where to aim or when to shoot at both the same time. Like leading shots is such a tricky thing to do that I think we just don't talk about. People just get good at it, and then it's like, oh, why aren't you leading your shots? It's like, turns out it's really hard to predict correctly where the opponent's going to move, understand how far away they are, so how much higher up you need to aim, and understand, because of how far away you are, how much further ahead you need to aim because they're moving forward as well. It's a mini physics lesson every time you go to shoot the gun.
Yeah.
And having that drop indicator, eliminating one of those variables is awesome, especially when you've got a Krabber. I've pulled off some nasty shots that I've never been able to do until I've played as Vantage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I like Vantage more, but I think Wraith is better.
Right, okay. What about as a character?
As a character, I find Wraith's... I'm a bit over Wraith's sort of standoffishness.
Right.
You know? How she's so don't talk to me because I see the future.
She's been through a lot.
Yeah, sure. But she's been through a lot she had been through a lot 4 years ago.
Yeah, what if you could see multiple versions of yourself 100% of the time?
I'm just saying, it's been a while and I'm a little over it.
My vote's for Wraith.
I'm happy to go with you on that one.
All right.
I do like Vantage though.
I enjoy the bat.
The bat's fun.
We're gonna get through these faster. Lifeline, Newcastle. we are running shorter on time. Lifeline, Newcastle.
I think Lifeline's better.
I think Lifeline is better, and I think that I enjoy her vibes more.
Yeah. She's always healing. She's similar to Gibraltar with that sort of gregarious vibe. Her revive is useful. Her care package is fine. It's good. It's in a better place than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Newcastle's
whole,
like I said before,
he's funnier. He's funnier as a character you can play as, but Lifeline I think is better. I also like Lifeline's vibes more, so I reckon we go Lifeline.
Yep.
Done.
I think Newcastle's just a bit more useless.
Horizon Octane.
My vote with this one immediately is Octane. I've just never understood Horizon. I like her character. I enjoy the what is she, Scottish? I like the Scottish vibes, and she's talking about a robot the whole time, and she's fun. Like, she's a great character, but I've never understood how to use her properly.
I gotta admit, when I started to understand how Horizon worked, it made for some really wonderful plays. I think she's let down by her ult in a way, because it keeps changing. But I think that the ability to
like the gravity lift,
the gravity lift, and the jump from a very high building and not have to stagger, like her anti-gravity boots or whatever, fucking is so useful.
Yeah, I don't see that. That doesn't do much for me personally.
It takes a while. It took a while for me to understand Horizon, honestly.
Okay.
But I'm happy to go Octane. If you are steadfast in Octane, then I'm happy to go Octane.
Well, is Horizon above Octane for you?
Yeah, but just. Only just.
Yeah, Octane is handily above Horizon for me.
Right.
But only personally. Only in like an ignorance kind of way.
Right. You should play more Horizon when like
I've tried her. It's just it never there's a headset shift that I need to figure out.
The giant jump tower things in that new map, the things that send you fucking flying, you hold shift when you land on those things and you fucking rocket across the ground. It's awesome. Yeah. Because you slide out of those. Bloodhound and Fuse. Bloodhound is my favorite character, so I'm voting for Bloodhound.
I'm also voting for Bloodhound. Bloodhound's first of all the only non-binary character in the list, which is great, but also good that there's one at all. The seeing is good. They've been so good the whole time.
Yeah.
Their ult's amazing. Their character's interesting. Yeah, Bloodhound's great.
Mirage versus Seer. I fucking hate Mirage. I think he needs to shut the fuck up. He's always been annoying since season 1.
And I think Pooh Hair Mirage is one of my favorite characters to listen to. I think I really enjoy listening to him. I think he's actually funny, and I love how much he pisses you and Ollie off. It's so funny. I don't like him anywhere near as much to play as I like Sia.
And I think the bamboozle joke has gotten so old and so stale. And I know they're referencing it, but that doesn't make it less stale.
Yeah, it's like me talking about Wraith seeing so much stuff and talking about it for so long.
Yeah. Pathfinder Loba.
Oh, this is hard.
Is Pathfinder your is he your man?
Do you mean in this matchup or overall?
Overall.
No, I think if I had a singular character, I'd pick Caustic.
Right, okay.
I think it is Pathfinder for me over Loba. Like, Loba's good, but Pathfinder, there's something about the originals they're staying quite strong in this contention.
I love his design as well.
Jokes are timeless.
Yeah,
like Pathfinder's energy and enthusiasm is timeless. But also his kit, his grapple hook. I mean, he's got a grapple hook. Like let's just leave it at that. Like, it's a grapple hook.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. But he's so useful, and you can do so much with him. And he's so funny. All of his naive robot jokes, so funny.
Yes, definitely.
All right, we're into the quarterfinals. We're into the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too long. We've only got a few more matchups from here. So four quarterfinals.
Rhapsody, Caustic. It's just Caustic, right? Like
it is Caustic.
It's Caustic.
We don't really know Rhapsody, but also Caustic's good.
Wraith, Lifeline.
Personally, if I had to put one down over the other, I would say Lifeline. I think Lifeline is more universally useful with her heal bot and her revive, her passive revive.
Also her vibes.
And her vibes. Yeah.
Octane.
If we were like
Bloodhound.
hyper competitive players, then I think maybe we'd vote Wraith, but we're not.
Yeah.
Octane Bloodhound. I know your answer, I think I agree with you. It is Bloodhound over Octane.
Yeah, Bloodhound is just so fucking cool. Seer Pathfinder.
And good.
Yes.
Seer Pathfinder, this is hard.
This is hard. I prefer Seer because I'm terrible at Pathfinder.
Okay, fair enough.
But,
I can understand that.
And I've never been good at guessing. I've never been good at doing the actual, like
the grapple, jump off the ground, sort of boosting. Yeah. I think for me it's Seer as well. I just love Seer's kit. Seer's mechanics are so fun to use.
Yeah.
I love being able to see through walls. I love the scan ability. Yeah. Seer wins it for me. But that's a tough one.
It is a tough one. Caustic.
Semi-finals. It's that quick, everybody.
Caustic, Lifeline. I think Caustic.
Really? Over Lifeline?
Like Lifeline is great, really useful, really fun. I think Caustic as a design is really funny. I think I enjoyed when he was a villain quite a lot, and also the noxious gas thing that he's got, is pretty cool.
Like conceptually,
yeah, and you can there's a lot of things you can do with it, right? Because you filling up a doorway with a canister that is just in the fucking way.
Yeah, or blocking a door.
So funny.
And I think that's one thing with Caustic as well. Like he's really, you can really easily play quite defensive with his traps and his grenade, or you can play quite offensive with him.
Yeah.
He's really versatile in that way. Really annoying to be going up against a good Caustic, and really satisfying to be a good Caustic.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Caustic it is.
I'm cool with that.
Bloodhound's
in this next semi-final.
So is
Bloodhound versus Seer. This is hard because they're so similar in what they achieve.
They are. They are the reconnaissance beasts.
Beasts, yes. It's interesting because Seer's passive and active ability are quite focused, right? Whereas Seer aiming, he can see heartbeats in the very nearby zone. Or when he uses his ability, it's a forward tubular scan. It's just everything in front of him gets scanned,
and it stops revives and does a tiny bit of damage.
Oh yeah, and the interrupt, yeah. But then Bloodhound is can see footsteps and how long ago they were, up to 90 seconds, and the broad field of view area scan.
And part of this is because Bloodhound's been around since the beginning, and there is there is a beginner bias that we have because they've been around the longest and are so well designed from the get-go. But some of Bloodhound's alternate skins are so fucking cool. There are so many awesome skins for Bloodhound, more than Seer.
Definitely. And personally, I prefer Bloodhound's sort of backstory and pathos and reasoning and all of that. The old hunters and the old ways, that sort of tribal future setting is quite interesting.
And the bird.
Yeah, what's his name? His name's Arthur, right?
I don't know.
The bird?
Really?
Pretty sure it's Arthur.
Cute.
Yeah. I really do need to say, though, this is not a slight against Seer. Seer is absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
I think Seer's my second favorite character.
Yeah, we love Seer. We do love Seer. All right. Now, I haven't got it here because I didn't hit the tick button, but third and fourth playoff.
Between Lifeline and Seer, the fight for third place.
Yeah. I think
for me,
it's Seer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Lifeline's great. But Seer's so fun.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got 4th place Lifeline, 3rd place Seer, and then the final, it's come down to Caustic versus Bloodhound. It's come down to your favorite versus my favorite.
I mean, I think Bloodhound is real cool.
Bloodhound is really cool. I think Caustic is more fun.
I disagree only in the sense that, remember, so every now and again I'll have one of those games where I will crack and get like 10 kills.
Yeah.
It's always Bloodhound.
It's always with Bloodhound.
It's always, and that's by and large due to their ult.
To their ult when you can see when you get that like heat vision, the predator vision.
Faster than Octane. Can see enemies in red while the world is in black and white, and it lengthens the time of you in the ult when you get a knock.
That's true. And also you can use your area scan like 7 times while it's active.
So many times. Even more if you can stay in that groove, right?
Yeah. But on the flip side, when you're with a Caustic and you're in that final zone and you know where every other team is, and you can get that perfect grenade shot.
It's good.
Right into where they're hiding. There's no counter for it except for Watson's thing, but no one plays Watson.
Except for Watson's thing, and if you've got another Caustic.
That's true. If the other Caustic just won't be hurt by it. But that's only 1 out of 3 characters. The other 2 are fucked.
Sure. That being said, all right, I'm going to paint you a picture, which might convince you. All right. It's a standoff, right? It's you, 2 other teams.
Okay.
Circles in the middle of the 3 teams. You know where the other 2 are, right?
Yeah.
But the circle's coming in. Everybody's got to leave at the same time. Everyone's got to leave the area that you're in, right?
Yep. None of you want to be the first team to start fighting.
None of you want to be. So Caustic throws out a gas grenade, maybe a smoke bomb, maybe a Gibraltar's thingo.
Like the airstrike.
Yeah. Like there's and Bangalore's smoke grenade as well. What's the scariest sound you can hear at any given moment? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. The gas sound is annoying. It's like, shit. I got to get out of that. And then you do and you're fine.
Yeah.
But you're right. The ulting Bloodhound, you hear it from so far away.
Yeah.
And the scan, when you're in an area and you've like just finished a fight and it's like scanned by Bloodhound, it's like, fuck!
Yeah.
I'm screwed!
There is terror when a Bloodhound is after you.
Yeah.
And they will come at you so fucking fast.
Totally. I think Caustic is more situational with their thing. Like, if you don't have traps down already, you can only throw 3. They can be destroyed now. Like, in a fight where everything's popping off, it's not that viable to start throwing them because it's a lot of bullets you're not shooting during that time. Bloodhound is so versatile in nearly every setting.
Yeah.
And so deadly with their kit in nearly every setting that, yeah, I do think it might have to go to Bloodhound, much as it pains me to say.
I'm just too good at convincing. There we have it.
Maybe I would agree with you already if it weren't for the fact that I don't get to play as Bloodhound that often when I play with you.
You just got to be first in queue.
Just got to be faster. You're right. That was fun. That was good.
Yeah, that was good. Bloodhound, the best Apex legend.
The legendary Apex legend.
The best Apex Legends legend.
The most Apex legend there is to ever legend is Bloodhound.
Bloodhound.
They're the best.
They are the best. It's just no 2 ways about it.
Seer's pretty good though.
Seer's pretty fucking good.
All right, everyone. We're going to go on a break. Thank you for joining us for that section. We're going to be back with what we've been playing this week. A lot of rhythm games. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the MiniMapCast. During the break, we've been discussing Vaporwave soundtracks as inspired by Dan Golding's composition for Mars First Logistics that Jeremy just shared with us.
It's so good. There's
so good.
A little bit of Vangelis in there and towards the
I
end.
literally said that.
Yeah, just a hint.
Yeah, the Vangelis synth
Yeah.
is it's strong in the Mars First Logistics soundtrack. I appreciate the inspirational pull there,
Yeah.
Dan Golding. So well done with that one.
Yeah.
As always.
As always, honestly, like one of the best composers in games.
Yeah, for sure. So, Jeremy, we're going to talk about music a bit in this segment, but first, we need to discuss something that was brought up last week and took up a whole third of the show, I think.
Yeah,
because it was so confounding and strange and new. It's time to revisit Steamcore, the play-to-partner platform introduced to us at PAX. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about, for those that are unaware, this is Jeremy met someone at PAX who's talking to press, who's releasing a platform on Steam in the next week or two.
A game that includes the ability to play the game on Twitch, and then you will get more viewers to the point that they are claiming that you are guaranteed to reach Twitch partner.
Right, which we had a whole segment last week on the difficulties with that, why that sounds impossible.
It is a clipped out segment that you can view directly on YouTube.
Yes, you can find that pretty easily on Jeremy's Twitter, or he tweeted that out earlier this week.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend you listen to that segment later, if not right now.
Yeah.
But Jeremy, you got to actually play it, not just on the show floor at PAX, not just have a conversation about it, but you got to play it as your Twitch account.
Yes. So,
what was it like?
Yeah. So Steamcore is on Steam currently. It's in a weird it's not a game you can immediately download, except you request access to the playtest and then you immediately get access. So you can play it immediately, but it looks more closed off than what it actually is. I think to disencourage it, entering the charts and stuff. So the game itself is a third-person shooter where you are running around on a spherical planet, collecting cogs, and harvesting steam cores. And
that's the name of the game,
right? The way it functions is it's an online game. Everybody's got their own world, which it's not a thing that you really have any connection to, or not really anything you build up. But there's Jeremy's planet, for example, and then I'm playing the game, and then I leave my planet, and then it takes me to a randomly generated, someone else's, a randomly selected planet that is someone else that's currently playing. So then I go to Buddy's planet, and then I then go to his. I look for the steam vent on his planet, and then I build a structure using the gears that are scattered around all around the spheres. I spend that money to then make a steam core generator or something. I'm harvesting the platform I'm harvesting the steam on Buddy's planet, for example, and then I get steam cores, and then I can then take that back home and upgrade something. I don't quite remember. You can cash it in. I don't know. It's the more steam cores you have, I think it determines your score, and your score is just text on a leaderboard on top right corner. It's in development. UI is not final.
Yeah.
And there are also
it sounds like a .io browser game.
It is. So trying to describe this game to a few people over the past week. That is how I kept on describing
Proved nearly impossible.
Kinda. That is how I described it. It does feel like a .io game, like Agario and all that stuff, where you play to just get to the top of the leaderboard. There's not a whole lot of by the way, it's permadeath. When you lose, you start from almost the beginning. When you get killed. And also other players are obviously moving around different planets. You were going back and forth to your planet, then to someone else, then back to yours, and someone else's, then yours. So there's always the danger that you need to try and get everything done on someone else's planet before they get there, and then before they try and kill you.
Question. When you lose and you start from the beginning again, do you start on the same planet? Can you get spawn camped?
Sometimes, but you fall from the sky like Titanfall. So you don't always. The chances of you landing right next to the person that just killed you, is pretty slim, or next to maybe 0, depending on how they've put together the game. It didn't happen for me. I was pretty consistently coming back to different planets. I played and streamed this game while I think 7 or 8 other people were playing, which is like, that's not many, but it was enough that I was going to other people's planets and bumping into each other all the time.
You were playing the game.
I was playing the game. The game functions and works. Like, it was a little bit buggy, but judging by what they're talking about in the Discord, the bugs that I experienced have been fixed. It is in development, as I've said. There's also enemies that just roam around. They're just like funny little robots. One that blows up, one that shoots you, and one that is like a turret. And one that digs in the ground, which is really annoying. And there's different weapons. There's like assault rifles and shotguns assault rifles, sniper rifles, rocket launchers, and grenade launchers. And I think there's a melee weapon coming or something. I don't know. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I was streaming the game. And let me tell you, I'm not partner.
Are you now?
No. The way the streaming function is the way the streaming thing functions is interesting. It opens up a web browser and I can't tell if that's what determines whether you're a viewer or not. My impression was that the viewer system was under the hood inside the game, but I don't know if that's the case. I can't tell if the web browser that is running, which you can get rewards by leaving it open, like in-game rewards that you can activate at any moment that get teleported to you, which is kind of neat that function works as well as it does. I can't tell if that is the part that is making you become a viewer for someone else's stream or not, or if it's happening in-game. I want to try it again, and I want to close the web browser to see if I become a viewer, but I don't know how I can check that. It's hard. I suppose you'd be able to see my account, and if my account says it's watching someone else's stream, I guess that would work.
That would work if you're a friend of that account.
Yeah.
And just to lay it out there in case you're still not familiar. Yeah, like when you launch the game, you become an active Twitch viewer, apparently, even though you're not really being an active Twitch viewer.
Yes.
And then whoever is at the top of the leaderboard gets distributed the most number of active Twitch viewers of other people playing the game, and that helps your channel.
Allegedly.
Like theoretically.
Yes, yeah.
In theory.
That is what November Games has been saying. That is the way this functions. And like, look, I played the game for about an hour and a half. I streamed it for about an hour and a half. With some crashes here and there, it was hard to sort of get to the top of the leaderboard all the time, but I was getting to the top every now and again. And I had a single person jump into chat. I think at any given moment I had about 6 maximum viewers, which does pretty much account for everybody that was playing at that moment while I was ranked number 1. I had, I think, what was it? It was like 98 people click into my stream. I say with a big air quotation marks. 98 people entering the stream of mine.
Right.
Which
is much more than usual.
Much more than usual. Usually I get I don't know, maybe twice the amount of maximum viewers at any given moment if I stream for 2 hours or so. I don't get many, and I don't stream frequently enough to have any audience or anything. But that was much higher than what it usually was. It functionally, on a technical level, not their marketing, hey, play this game and you will guaranteed become a partner. The tech itself worked, I guess. It got me direct viewers, it got me new viewers, and it got me an immediate larger than average viewer base, because it kind of is just grabbing audience members and aren't watching my stream. Only one person chimed in, and that person was someone that I killed in the game, and they explicitly went over to my chat and said touche because I killed them in a funny way.
Okay. That's cool. That's fine.
That was neat. But the moment they said touche, they left because I said like, "Hey, how do you do this in this game?" And like they just had instantly left. I was refreshing the users in chat while I was streaming, and it was like, yeah, like this. There's people just coming in and out over and over and over again. And I'm sure
so fascinating.
And because like my user would have been doing the same thing on their channels, right? My user would have been someone that was just entering and leaving chat depending on who was at the top of the leaderboard.
Yep.
So what did I gain from it? Sure, the game isn't out. It has a very minuscule player base that's largely organized by its Discord currently, and it's not a game that's appearing on charts because it's still in development. All this stuff, right? There are plenty of things to look at this and say, okay, it's very early. They're still balancing plenty of the game. I may be even more fascinated than what I was when it launched, because from everything that I've been told, from talking to the lead, from the thing that he said to me while I was recording what he was saying with pen and paper, so he wasn't saying stuff to me in confidence. He knew I was taking notes. I was interviewing him. His apparent relationship with Twitch, that they seem to be super on board with this. The apparent 10-year plan that is not
unable to be spoken about.
Yeah, not a thing he's able to talk to me about, whatever that is. His monetization plans for this SDK, for this play to part. Like, there's so many question marks. And yet, at the end of the day, what I have seen is the technology functions as expected.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's left is for them to launch and see what happens.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, this platform is fueled and powered by its player base, right? Like, they can distribute as many viewers as they have, but if they've only got 6 viewers, then it's functionally useless. If they've got 400 or 500 people in there, that's a pretty big chunk. And if they've got even more, then that means even more people get even more viewers. And
I look at it this way, like let's say, for argument's sake, 1,000 people are playing this game at any given moment, which is
great.
That's a decent amount. It's not really a lot in Twitch, but it's enough. It's plenty. That means that potentially 1,000 people are spread across, let's say, the top 10 streams. And if it's spread across, like that's a pretty decent immediate viewer number.
It is. It immediately brings red flags.
Yes, it does.
As soon as I try and conceptualize it.
Is it enough to cut through the algorithm? And I'm not buying into this. I'm not buying into it. I'm not saying that this is a scam. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But what I'm saying is this needs to be proved to me. This needs to be a thing that is existed and needs to be out in the wild, and for it to succeed on its own merit, for me to look at this and say that it is a thing that is real and tangible and that I can see. But on a theoretical level, having a number that says 400, right? Maybe 500 viewers currently. If I look at SaltyBet currently, a thing that has got a fairly irregular chat base, is sitting at 341 viewers, right? Like, Mega64 is currently streaming their podcast. Maybe that's where all our viewers are. I don't know. They have maybe. They've only got 41 people listening right now.
Yep.
There's an old pro Overwatch streamer who's currently streaming Overwatch 2, who is at 500. Right? If there's 1,000 people playing this game and 500 are sent to number 1, that's a pretty decent number to start off with, even if no one is chatting.
Yep.
Is it enough to get to partner? That's a whole different question. But
and like even before that, like, how do they get to those numbers, right? Like, after the promise of, if you do this, you will become a Twitch partner. Like, that will pull in a number of people who haven't given it a go but have always tried to, and a few people who have given it a go before and have the setup and have a bit of practice in the scenario, like you and I. But like, still the fundamental questions remain, and we could talk to this as well more directly. Like, yeah, Buddy's right. It's almost like follow for follow like schemes, you know, where it's like, sure, you could do it, and then you get like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or 4,000 followers, but none of them care about you. They're not actually your audience. They're just numbers. Yeah. It's just BS. And the fact of the matter is, 400 people on a platform is great for a game, but the game has to be decent for that to happen. And once the promise of the play to partner shine wears off, and people are like, man, I have to play this game for more hours if I want this to work for me, will the game both A, keep players playing it so that they stream it so that they're part of the play to partner program, because that's how this thing works, and B, will it keep viewers on Twitch? Because the streamers have to keep playing it, which means they have to keep streaming it, which means they have to keep being engaging with this game in particular in order for them to get the growth.
And one of the funniest things that kept on happening was that, so say I get to number 1 on the leaderboard and I had 6 people watching me, right? The moment I died, that number crashed because I was suddenly no longer number 1.
Right, and what does that do to your stats at that point?
It's completely like out of whack, right? Like, and there is no trend. It is like there is up, and then the second I died, right? And it was
like literally on the viewership graph.
There's no graph, but like there's
a viewership graph.
Is it? I'll see if I can pull it up.
There's an average viewer graph.
Okay, I'll see if I can pull it up over time. I'm not sure if it worked over like I don't think it gave me a line. I think it's just many bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was an immediate like all the, and there they go.
Yeah,
which was really funny. And like I think one of the other things is like I can see someone enjoying watching someone play this game.
Yeah.
While they're really good at it. And that's what they're marketing, right? They're marketing pro gamers can if you're at the top of the leaderboard, if you're the best person to thingo, then then
we'll give you viewers.
Then you'll be more inclined, right? My average,
and that becomes its own thing, right? Because if someone's impressive to watch play something, they're going to be impressive to watch on nearly any game that they put their mind to, or any game that they're good at.
Yes.
So why would they keep playing this?
I can see there being some excitement at a the best player playing this game, and there being a level of like, oh, like are they going to die and lose a bunch of numbers and stuff like that? Like I can see that being funny, more so than a regular like IO game. But it's so unproven, uncertain, wobbly, foundationally aggressively competitive, in a way that is like at best just fascinating.
It sounds naive in a way.
It does a little bit. Looking at my average views, it's not as up and down as I expected, but there are a few times in the graph that it goes like that, and then it cuts almost by half.
That's pretty funny.
It is funny to look at.
The thing that gets me is like, if they're trying to bring in pro players, how are they going to keep the bots around? You know, how are they going to keep the people who are the viewers around when they're constantly getting steamrolled by the people who are getting the most viewers? Not only are you then feeding them kills and success, but you're also taking away from your own stream's success every time you lose.
So okay, but have you heard of that I'm a competitive motherfucker? And sometimes when there's someone playing this game that's better than me, I had this sudden urge to try and seek them out and make them die.
Oh, they got you.
A little bit. Only in terms of, turns out playing games against other people is just always going to be a big enough draw that you can have fun.
Sure.
And this is a directly...
It's got that real life stake to it as well. Like everyone's here for a reason. It's like... instead of gambling, it's like, oh, this is my career. I'm putting my career on the line to play this game right now. Yeah, yes. And it's that part I was surprisingly compelled by. The idea that there was someone else who was playing
who was quite good at the game, and killed me a bunch of times. Like, I got mad. I wanted to end this whole man's career. I wanted to win. And so like I seeked them out a little bit, and like I did kill him once or twice. And the moment I did, I got more views because I stole their views.
Yep.
And that was because there was like 6 people going at any given moment, so everyone got a share, I think, of it because everyone was on the leaderboard.
Yep.
But that was weirdly compelling.
Yep.
I'm so fascinated.
Man.
Like I want to keep track of this game to like at like a data analytics level. I want to watch and jump in at this game when it's at its peak popularity, because I need to know what that is.
Yeah, totally. If it ever gets somewhere, like it'll be absolutely fascinating.
Even if its peak popularity is only 50 viewers, I want to see that. I want to see that. Like
you need the data.
I want to be at the top of that mountain to know what it's like.
Yep.
So.
Well, it continues to be one of the most fascinating parts of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
For us, it's yeah. More power to them. Again,
yeah.
I sort of felt like saying that last week because I didn't know what else to say, and I say it, I'm like, but I don't even know if I want it to work. I don't even know if I want this to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it launches officially in November. We'll see how it goes. Is it free?
No.
Okay. So the playtest is free.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think it's free. I think they were saying that they were going to charge money for the game. I can't see them charging that much. I can see them charging at maximum $20.
Yeah. Even that sounds like a lot. Although a one-off fee to become Twitch partner, it's pretty good. Jesus. So we're gonna jump to me and then back to Jeremy afterwards. We're gonna talk about what I've been playing this week. I briefly spoke about this, I think, last week. I'm just grabbing something. That I had something on order, and it finally arrived this week.
I'm very excited.
On camera. This
it's the boring part of the reveal.
This is the RAFnet Wii accessory to USB adapter. It's got... That's right, get excited in the chat, everybody. Get excited. It's got this Wii accessories plug like you would find at the bottom of a Wii remote. And why that's important is because if you're unfamiliar with the Wii accessories, obviously they were powered by the batteries in the Wii remote, and that's how the Wii communicated with the console and the controllers, and that's how your accessories communicated with the console, was through the remote.
Yes.
When I was a wee young lad, when I was 12, I got my very first Guitar Hero game, and I got it on the Wii because I didn't have anything else modern enough for it. So all of my Guitar Hero controllers, the way the Wii control, I've got the controllers right here. I'll just show you. If you're unfamiliar with the Wii Guitar Hero controllers, unlike all previous other systems like the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, they have a little slot here, a little hollowed out slot. And you take the back out, and it like, you slot the Wii remote in, you plug it in, and then the Wii remote powers this, and that's how this becomes your controller. It was just a gigantic Wii remote accessory. Sort of like those tennis racket plastic clip-on things, except it actually works and functions.
Yeah.
And so this adapter, you just plug it in to the little Wii remote accessory dongle on the controller, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a high-quality PC Guitar Hero controller.
It's pretty exciting.
Jeremy, I've had the time of my life this week.
I bet you have. I will get there, but I'm jealous.
I obviously I bought it, so I knew, and I bought it for this, so which is why I was ready to be excited for this, but I wasn't prepared for how back into this I was going to be. So if you're unfamiliar, the PC community, if you want to play stuff like Guitar Hero or with the drums or whatever, there's a independent game called Clone Hero, which has not really, it's got barely any licensed music. They've got a couple of Dragon Force songs on there, but the biggest thing is you can load in your own tracks, very similar to modifying Beat Saber with custom tracks and custom maps and stuff like that.
Or
this came first.
Or like Audio Surf does it as well.
Audio Surf is a great other example. Yeah, exactly. And so first thing I did was there's a very well organized, very comprehensive spreadsheet of many of the set lists that people have made over the years, of the Guitar Hero set list to Clone Hero conversions that people have made. So I downloaded the entire Guitar Hero 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 libraries.
Awesome.
Which is amazing. There's some great songs on that original Guitar Hero soundtrack. Let me tell you what, I never played the original. There's some great stuff on there.
I've never played it, but I remember looking at the back of the PS2 case going, fuck, this is a really good track list for like the first one of these games. Yep,
totally. So the first one on Wii was Guitar Hero 3, which came with the Les Paul, the Gibson. And then that was the first one I got. Wasn't the first time I played it though. The first time I played it was my stepsister's boyfriend brought his 360 over with Guitar Hero 2 in like 2005, 2006, and we all kind of learned it together. And that was a really fun time. We went through on easy, and then we went through on medium, and it was like, oh, you got to use your pinky. That's so hard. And like, oh, they introduced the orange note. How am I even supposed to do that? And sort of going through with that, everyone together, like that was so cool. We all progressed at a similar rate, and we were so interested in getting better together. That was really fun. And so I haven't played the Guitar Hero 2 set list in literally more than half of my life. And so coming back to it has been so fun. There's so many great songs on that set list, like Sweet Child of Mine, Carry On My Wayward Son, Cherry Pie's a fun one. Trogdor from Strong Bad is in there as a bonus track. Like, the Guitar Hero 2 soundtrack rules. And then you get to 3, which I played the crap out of because I actually had it, which has got some awesome ones on there as well. We're talking like when You Were Young and Barracuda and Welcome to the Jungle.
Slow Ride.
So many, like Cliffs of Dover. Or maybe that was number 4.
Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Through the Fire and the Flames. That was when that was introduced. World Tour has a lot of really good ones there as well, like Hotel California. And then I got to number 5, which I never owned, and that's got like Stevie Wonder's Superstition. It's got Smells Like Teen Spirit. Like, there's so many awesome tracks. I was talking to you when I first got it last week, and I was saying how I'd given it a go, and I said that, man, my skills had really like atrophied in the time since I'd been away.
Yeah.
And I've been able to rebuild and sort of develop and go past that, I think. I think I've gone further than what I had been at previously, or I'm at least getting close to it. I'm pulling off lots of runs, all the hammer-on pull-offs in the solos. It's feeling really satisfying.
Nice.
Like, what happened yesterday was I sat down and people hanging out in chat and they were playing Destiny. I was like, I don't feel like that. So I turned on Crisp on Discord to make sure that my guitar sounds, my creaky plastic guitar sounds, were being muted out of my audio, so that everyone in the call didn't have to listen to me like just
click 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 click. Doesn't come through at all.
Oh, I think I've still got it on. Okay, I was just making noise with my guitar.
Yeah.
Controller, not my actual guitar because I don't have one. And yeah, I just sat there for hours while they were playing Destiny, and we were just chatting and just going through the whole set list, just whatever I felt like. It's so fun. I've put in Snarky Puppy songs that are fucking hard, and I've put in Wolfpack songs, which are even harder, because those are actually like proper... Oh, man. It's been so fun. I did get the drums out yesterday, and I didn't get it to work, unfortunately.
Damn.
Because a lot of the tracks, it kind of expect you to have a kit that has like a green like tom as well as a green symbol, and like to differentiate between those. So I can't use my green to hit the green symbol, or to hit the green tom for it to be both for some reason.
Right. Okay.
so I couldn't use it properly, which was really frustrating. I need to look up a tutorial for that, and I just couldn't be bothered, so I put it back away.
Yeah, you're able to like emulate it via like just like a controller emulator, I guess.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, the software that comes with the RAFnet adapter is pretty comprehensive. It knows what it's for, and it knows that it's good for this as well. Like the drums worked. It's just the charts weren't working with my drums.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like all the things worked.
Sure.
But like my orange symbol was the kick as well as the kick.
Nice.
So yeah, it needs more work on my end. But man, it's been so good. Playing Persona songs on there has been really funny. I think I was telling you about this as well. I was telling someone about this. Like I just downloaded some of the songs from Persona because it's that soundtrack's amazing. But some songs come with custom animated video backgrounds behind the highway. And so I make sure I turn that on because I was like, I don't know when these will or won't have it. And the Persona songs do have it. But they've got it from the Persona 5, what is it, Dancing in Starlight, the dancing game.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing these songs that I know really well from Persona 5 Royal, and then all of a sudden these characters, these teenagers from the game, are like doing all these dance moves like it's a K-pop music video.
That's fun.
And they just sort of like, and I'm just standing, it's like for like the final boss music, right, which is really good. And so they're just dancing in this final boss arena. And so I'm paying attention to the music, and then I'm watching them dance. And I'm like, this is really strange. They're wearing clothes they've never worn before. And then it gets really weird. Like one of the battle themes I picked, and the music for that, the music video for that is all of the girl characters in like a cabaret setting. And so they're all wearing burlesque outfits. And I'm like, oh man, all of these characters are younger than 18. I hate this. Stop it. Like it's the whole video. It's like, why did you do this? And why did you think this was okay? And it wasn't, that's not Clone Hero's fault or the mapper's fault, although they put it in there when you could have just not and spared me. But like, why did the creators of Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight think that was okay? It's so not okay. It's so not okay. Anyway, tangent. Yeah, man, it's been so good. It's been so good to just go through the set lists, revisit ones I haven't played in so long, play the ones I really have played heaps of, play the ones I've never played. I'm really excited to sort of get through the Guitar Hero list and then get to, there's obviously the Guitar Hero ones I've been doing. There's other playlists called like Guitar Zero,
nice.
Which is just someone else's custom lists.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of songs from like a F-Zero X soundtrack from like the GameCube version of the game. Man, it's been so fun. It's been so fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous. Like I'm jealous. I want to also do that.
Yes.
The being around DreamHack and then going to PAX and seeing Guitar Hero machines, and just like, oh fuck, like it's pretty good. They're pretty good. Yeah. They're pretty fun.
And part of me when I'm playing is like, oh, I'm putting like energy into getting better at this plastic fake instrument. And part of me is like, why aren't I just playing a guitar? Like, am I wasting my time? I could be playing saxophone, which I actually know how to play, and getting better at that. But instead, I'm playing 5-button plastic guitar.
And the answer is instead. No, it's fun.
It is fun. It's so fun, Jeremy. It's so good.
It's also different to playing a guitar.
Yeah, no, that is true as well. Yeah. I don't know. It's fun. It's so great. One of the things that I've really enjoyed is noticing that my hands are bigger, and so it's just easier to swap the frets to go up and down.
Yeah,
and to use that sort of because the way they start you on the game is you've got the first green, red, and yellow frets, or the top three, and then they introduce the blue, and then they introduce the orange, and so it becomes for you about home is blue, red, and yellow.
Yes, and
then it becomes about what your pinky's doing. But sort of when you get more advanced, it sort of becomes about being able to move what home is, to move your index finger to be at home on red and green, and like stretch your index finger as well as stretch your pinky finger whenever it suits.
Yeah.
And being able to, like, I've known that conceptually for years, not playing the game, and being able to apply that in this new setting has been really fun. I don't know if I've told you this, but Guitar Hero is so foundational to how I like enjoyed music when I was growing up. When I've got a song in my head, I will sit here and wherever my hand is resting, like say it's resting on my mic arm here, I'll be like making up like patterns along to it with the melody. It would be like, oh, it goes up here. It's like, oh, it's got to go down there because it's got to go back up here. And I sort of think about how I would construct it on a Guitar Hero highway. I've been doing that ever since I first played the game, and I still do that to this day. And I'll be doing it even more since replaying with Clone Hero. It's been such a a renaissance. It's been amazing.
Yes, yeah. We'll get there, but music licensing being what it is, like Guitar Hero can't really exist in the current way anymore, right? And so this is kind of the only option, is to get songs from legally ambiguous places of the internet, because otherwise
I know what you're talking about, Jeremy. I got these songs totally legitimately,
because there's no other way to do it.
Yeah.
Which we'll go into next, but it's kind of like that's just what you can do.
Yeah, it's been so fun. It was the kind of thing where I was sneaking in songs between like work sessions. Like I'd do like 3 or 4 hours of work in the morning, get to like 1:30 and be like, I could play like half an hour right now.
Yeah.
And then I did. It was so fun. It reminded me of when I did a bit of work at Manatee Games, and someone had their controller there, their Guitar Hero, and they're like, oh, you want to play something? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. And I didn't really get it.
Right.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
That's it for me. I just sort of gushed for a while, but yeah, that's been my whole week. It's been so fun.
Well, similarly...
Please, I'm dying to hear this update, Jeremy.
I started playing Rock Band Plus. RockSmith Plus, even. So
not the first time you've spoken about it on the show.
No. So last year. That's when it was. Last year.
Really? Was it that long ago?
So it was right after E3.
Oh, wow.
So last year...
It doesn't feel like that long ago.
No, it doesn't. Last year at E3, Ubisoft had a showcase thingy.
Yep.
Where they announced RockSmith Plus, the new addition to the RockSmith series, which is it's basically Guitar Hero with real guitars, which includes an educational element to the game as well. It will teach you how to play guitar, while also you're able to sort of play along with it.
And like it existed in a prior format years and years ago.
Yeah.
Where it had a USB to like auxiliary jack, like guitar jack.
Yes. The 7.5 or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
The guitar jack. It would come with that, and you would plug it into whatever. Like I think it was it just PC or was it also on console? I don't remember.
It was on console as well,
okay.
Yeah.
And then you would play along with your real guitar, electric guitar, and go from there. It would read the input, and the guitar then became the controller. And then we saw that in the 360 PS3 era. It wasn't around in the PS4, Xbox One.
No, it was.
It was?
It branched over. It was a 2014 version as well.
Oh,
I think it was.
Okay.
I think it was kind of a definitive edition kind of deal.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, it was right around that bridge.
I've not played these. But then last year at E3, Ubisoft like, hey, guess what? We got a new one, and it's a bit different this time. You can still use a cable. I don't know if they sell it, but
yeah, I don't know if they do.
But you can still use a cable. Your old RockSmith cable, they said, will work. You can use any microphone that can pick up sound.
Yep.
Or your phone as a microphone. You can download an app, and your phone will then use the phone's mic to then pick up the sound and send it to the app, and it's apparently synced well enough that apparently it works.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works, right?
If it works, it works. When I played it last year, it didn't really work. Like it did, it wasn't great. I was losing inputs all the time.
You were pretty unimpressed.
I was pretty unimpressed, and I think at that point the way that it was showing me how to play this game, I don't think really worked for me at least. it would sort of, and it still does this, but I think they've tuned it better. Where if you play the game, so difficulty settings on this are a slider between like 1 and 100. You play this game on a slider of like, let's say you're at 15% difficulty. You will then play what is equivalent of 15% of the song. Random notes here and there, which seems weird. It feels weird to do that, to play like half of a bass line while a song is playing. Because you can hear the whole song. And then it detects how well you've done, and then it will bump up your difficulty accordingly. If you missed a bit, then it will not bump that part as much up, but it'll give you a higher mastery level, is what the difficulty is called. And so I gave this a proper go the other day because I was like, I started playing this before Games Week. I was like, I'm curious. I didn't know it had come out because I know they pushed it, and it's still not all the way out. I think the phone app is still in beta. That's not fully released as a finished product yet. Whatever that means. And I know it's not on console. It's only on PC, and it's a subscription service. It is not a thing that you buy once. It is a thing that you subscribe to, and is not part of Ubisoft Connect or whatever the fuck their streaming service is called, which is really annoying. I thought it was bundled in, and it was not.
Yep.
That was a mistake I made.
You didn't buy Connect, did you?
I redeemed my trial. I redeemed my free trial for it, and I was like, oh well, I'm not fucking using this, and then I forked out $15 for a month of RockSmith Plus.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it's $15 a month.
This has a try for free thing too, or is it because you already played it? You couldn't.
I think I might have used that.
Right.
I think. So I gave it like a proper shot this time, and I think this game is actually pretty cool. I think this is a really neat way to learn guitar. My guitar abilities is not very. I'm by and large self-taught. I did a little bit in high school, but for the most part, it's me hearing a song, going, I wonder if I can play that, looking it up, and looking at the chords, going, I can play that, or no, I can't. Guess I'll close this. I'm very terrible at picking. My strumming pattern is rubbish. I've got no accuracy with the pick. I can do chords. I can do bar chords. I can read tab. I can't read notation. This has done a pretty good job of actually teaching me songs. But in a weird way. So there's two things that I think they need to really start talking about more when it comes to this game. One of it is they need to give you a better way of finding songs that you want to play, because their algorithm is pretty shit. There's no there's no track, like there's you can look at all the songs, and you can look at genres, and you can sort them by the year, the name of the artist, alphabetical order, or recently added. And it's like in the modern day of music Spotify algorithms,
yeah,
like there needs to be something a bit better. Like, hey, if you like this song, then you'll love this.
Right, sure, definitely.
They've got current top hits, and they've got curated playlists of golden oldies and all that shit, right? Songs that deal in drop D, but it's there needs to be a little bit more tuning to serve me songs, because I'm finding songs and you're going, I love this song. I wish I knew the song was in here 4 hours ago when I was playing a song that I like but don't love. Right. Freestyler by the Bomb Funk MCs is in there though, which is pretty good. One of the
microphone.
One of the things that I think need to talk about more is their practice mode, because I think it's genuinely really, really good, where you can each song is probably spread out into about maybe 10 chunks, and these chunks are into a verse, into a chorus, into a bridge, into a verse, into a bridge, into a chorus, into a chorus. They are specifically chunked out.
Yeah.
You can then go into practice mode and just play one chunk over and over and over again until you nail it. And there's tons of really great difficulty settings. It is what difficulty level do you want to start at? Let's say 60%. Okay. What speed do you want to start at? Let's say 60%. And then it'll tell you speed up and difficulty up thresholds. So if you miss 3 notes, say you only miss 3 notes, it's now gone from 60% speed to 70% speed, and then it'll get to 80% speed. And if you hit 6 notes that you missed, it'll stay there until you get it right. So you can practice that bit over and over and over again. And then when you get up to 100% speed, then the difficulty goes up and the speed goes back down again. So you can play it slower with the knowledge you know, looking ahead to the new notes that it's adding as it's adding more and more correct notes. It will put in incorrect notes at the beginning to then give you a feel of where you're going to be playing.
Fascinating. That's so fascinating.
Very fascinating, because it sounds mostly right, but it's not 100% correct. So it's like...
But it's more about getting your fingers ready.
It's more about getting it in the right position. So there might be a slide note that you'll slide from like on the G string, you'll go from fret 8 to 6. It'll then put 8, and then it might put 6, and then it might make it slide, and then it might add another strum at the end because that's more correct than what it was in the past. And then it might move that just a little bit where it's actually from 7, and then it'll add another note to sort of bridge your hand across as you learn it. It's weirdly teaching your brain. It's making those weird like neural pathways in between to remember you're around here, and then it'll slowly correct you and correct you and correct you.
Yeah, that's so cool. I have to say, like, I've been fascinated by RockSmith ever since the original games, where it's like, oh, this looks like a really super interactive way to literally learn an actual instrument.
Yeah.
Like,
and to be fair, the way I've got my equipment set up now is I've got my guitar plugged directly into my Rodecaster, so it's getting complete clear signal. I wish it was better because my guitar's internals are actually fucked. I've got dreadful feedback. But like that's my guitar issue. I very rarely miss an input. In terms of like it knows, and it also it tunes the guitar. Like when you plug it in, it's like, okay, play the A string, and then it'll give you a tune. So all right, now tune it. Like it'll
awesome.
Yeah, right. Like it's such like of course it needs to, and then every now and again
and then you'll know how to do that in the future, and when you start recognizing the sounds, and then
and every now and again it'll say like, okay, like let's play this song, but like give us a quick like go through all the strings real quick just to make sure they're all still in tune. Which is really useful.
An update for you: you can just buy the cable.
Okay, right, cool, right. That's useful. Yeah, look, I can now play like nearly all of like Sweet Dreams Are Made of Sweet Dreams Are Made of Me. Like I didn't know how to play that song before. And what I'll do.
What is the guitar part like for that? Are you just playing the keyboard part or?
It's kind of a amalgamation. It's kind of a weird amalgamation of the bass line and the keyboard. And kind of playing the vocals a little bit.
Right.
It feels right, and that's kind of all that really matters, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
It sounds good when I play it.
Like a medley.
Yeah, like it sounds good when I'm playing it. And like the solo as well, which is like really cool. Yeah, it's weird. I think the worst part about it, honestly, is the song selection.
Right.
There's a lot of like, I just wish this was the Guitar Hero song selection. Like, I really wish there was some, like, there's some funny ones in there. Like, there's like a bunch of like Assassin's Creed like songs in there. There's like this.
You want to play Ezio's theme?
Yeah, right. And it's like there's the Wiggles is in there, which is funny. The SpongeBob theme is in there, which is funny. But like, yeah, then there's like Freestyler by the Boomfunk MCs. There's, like Sweet Dreams Are Made of Me. There's Where Is My Mind, but the not the Pixies version. Like I think it might have been like the original version.
Okay.
There's some Lonnie Liston Smith and the Cosmic Echoes, which is pretty dope. I made the tragic mistake of loading up a Santana song and immediately going, I can't fucking play this.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it needs more. It needs better songs. It needs more immediate, like, hey, like you should play this, because like one of the top
rock songs. It needs some,
like, it's got some stuff in there. Like it's got the fucking Stranger Things, the Puppet Master song. But it's like that's a really difficult song, like a really difficult song. It
sounds like it needs more fun.
It does need more fun. Like, it's got some stuff in there that I love that people are going to go like, why is like Bill Withers like one of the most popular songs on there? And it's like, obviously because Bill Withers is like extraordinary, but his song is also quite easy to play. And And so it starts to skew easier songs to the top of the leaderboard because they're more accessible that way. But there's also there's a bunch of Elvis in there, and not some of the best Elvis. And it's I need some killer songs.
Yeah.
Give me Barracuda, give me Slow Ride. Give me some really
totally.
Give me some songs to really fucking bob my head to while I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think it'll get there. I actually don't think this product will succeed.
Seriously?
Yeah. And I think.
Do you think it might not even penetrate a mass market, like a non-gamer market?
No, because RockSmith is a thing of the past. It's wild enough that they've brought it back, and the nonsense that is music rights. Now, to base an entire thing on music rights is nearly impossible. They can make this work if they do some Spotify integration, but then you immediately lose the curation. The best RockSmith that exists is going to be the one that comes out not made by Ubisoft, but made by a community where you can upload your own songs. But there's almost too much curation in that, because the idea that there are incorrect versions of the song that is being taught to you to then eventually teach you the correct version. I don't know if that's algorithm. I don't know if that's an algorithm that's doing that, or I don't know if it's curated.
Yeah, it must be, right? In some way, maybe an algorithm's tuning it down, and then someone comes in and tweaks it, does the fine tuning.
But the thing about the thing about Guitar Hero, right? Cool, Guitar Hero was completely manual all the way.
Yeah,
and that was why it was so good.
Yeah, definitely. But this is such an interesting learning tool. It's fascinating. I think it's a great product, honestly.
I think it's a great product that I don't think is going to penetrate. Also, the cost of entry is high. $15 a month is a lot.
It is. $20 for a month or $140 for the year is huge.
They need to bundle it in with Ubisoft Plus. It needs to be part of their service.
Yep.
Fuck it, put it in Game Pass. Honestly, that is how you 3 months free on Game Pass or something, right? Give me a light version. You need to get this in people's hands. But you got to remember, the other cost of entry is having a guitar.
Yeah, it's true. Which, to be fair, a lot of people have, and you only need a microphone now, so you can learn on acoustic, which was not possible before.
I think they do ukulele as well, and maybe that's
so cute.
I think I could be wrong. I want to say I read that somewhere, but I don't know if that ended up being a thing.
Oh man,
it's cool. It's really cool.
I really want it to succeed, because that practice method, that's legit. That will get you learning a song.
It got me learning a song.
On a real instrument. That is how you learn music.
And it was so easy to get good at a section. Sometimes I just want to learn the riff. Sometimes I just want to learn how to play the riff over and over again. I don't care that much about the bridge. Solo sometimes is beyond me. Sometimes I just want to learn the riff, and it was the most immediate, hey, jump in and learn the riff. And then when you finish the, that's not the only practice mode as well. When you finish the song, it's it'll give you tips. It'll be hey, some of your bar chords were a little bit stuck around here. Do you want to go through and just do the bar section over and over again until you learn it? There's a version of the practice mode which is you only progress through the song. The song will halt until you hit the right note.
Right, fascinating. That is cool, because something that one of my music teachers used to tell me is that it's different in a performance, obviously, but it's more important to play the right note late or with the wrong timing than it is to play the wrong note.
I agree.
With the right timing, because then you start learning the wrong thing.
Yes. This has taught me a better. The ability to slow down the song at any point, just have just throw it down to 80%. Give me just a little bit more room to get ready, and then let me bring it up to 85. Let me bring it up to 90. Let me bring it up to 100.
Yep. When I was learning, when I was in year 12 and I was doing music investigations was the subject. I was doing solo transcriptions. I was transcribing saxophone solos. And to do that, I needed custom software from some random website that I never heard of before to loop a section, to like get a section, only play this, play it again, play it with a delay, play it with a metronome, slow it down, speed it up. Like, there was no other way to do that. Like, it's a really specific thing to do. And so to lump that in with a software that also tells you how to improve your technique, also just gives you the songs to play along with a really custom, like, engaging UI that shows you how to play what's coming up, rather than just being like, here are the notes. Like, I think I honestly think it's a really good product. As someone who hasn't used it.
And like, know how to play guitar. No, like I do agree. I think what it doesn't have, like, it's weird. Like I'm enjoying it because I enjoy like plucking my guitar. Like, it's not fun. It's not a fun game. It's a learning tool.
Yeah, it's like Ring Fit, right? Where it's like,
Ring Fit was more fun. Ring Fit was like, it's work, but it's fun. Like, it's a fun workout. It's a gamified thing. There's funny characters,
Okay.
Like, this is like whiz bang school. Like, this is teaching you things. And so sometimes, like, I want to play it and I'm like, I can't learn anything now. It's like 9 o'clock at night and I'm tired and I was at work all day. Like, I can't learn.
Yeah, totally. Well, there's something to be said for, at that point, you can just play the things you already know for a time. And that's,
that is relaxing and stuff. But it's not a fun thing. I'm not looking at the cool stage. It's behind the guitar. I am way less listening to the song and enjoying the song for what it is. Because I'm trying to play with it. I'm working while I'm doing it, right? Playing Guitar Hero, it's like, it's a game. It's a rhythm game. Yeah. This is not a rhythm game. This is a gamified
not even a game.
Well, it's a gamified teaching tool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why I like it so much, is I love the potential. I look at that and I'm like, man, if I had that for saxophone, I would have gone so far.
Do you have a guitar in your house? Sam has a guitar, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
you should
in that cupboard.
You should give it a go. Just like cop a month and see what it's like. You can both do it. You can take it in chances. Here you go. Sam might like it.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I probably should. I'm a little daunted by it. Like, there's a sort of an alien nature to the guitar for me, as someone who spent like more than a decade learning like woodwind instruments.
Yeah,
the idea of having all of these strings, like, it's so strange. Like, to have 6 different noise-making possibilities at once, rather than just like one linear instrument that I use and make one sound at a time, like, kind of breaks my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've never really given it a good proper go.
Yeah, it's different. Like I love my guitar and I love playing it and I love guitar songs in general, the sound of it. I've always loved it. It's like a dumb guy instrument. Like, some of the best guitarists in the world, like, they can't read notation at all.
Totally.
And like, that's not to say that they're like invalid in their knowledge, but it's a thing that you can learn just by like hearing it or by looking at it. And guitar tab is for rock stars that don't know.
Tab is quick and dirty.
Yes, it is. Like, it'll get you to the finish line, and like you might not know why you play those notes, but you'll play them.
You do,
but you'll play them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
This
and there are
teaches you
people who
tab.
learn by ear on other instruments too. But yeah, there is a mainstream appeal to guitar. People can pick up and play the guitar.
Yeah.
It is the guitar is in many different popular bands, and it can let you play many different cool sounding things. Yeah, no, there's a popularity to the guitar that is kind of unrivaled by most other things.
Yeah, like guitar and piano, right? Like, those are the two.
Yeah, but piano's so stuffy. In a way, like, piano's so classical. Like, when it's like, I want to learn the piano, it's like, great. This is what a C major scale is. I feel like so many people on guitar don't learn
Nah,
from that basis.
Your keyboard is like, nah, I want to play MGMT, and it just teaches you like that do 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 do. Like I can still play that. I can still play MGMT on the keyboard. Can't do anything else.
What is MGMT?
Kids by MGMT.
Kids by MGMT.
Oh, Kerry, if you tell me you're gonna hear this song for the first time, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Hang on, I'm getting an ad about cyber attacks. Hang on.
Oh, Kerry, you can't do this to me right now. If this is the first time you've heard this song, I'm going to lose my shit, son.
Is the recognizable? It's 6 minutes long. Where's the most recognizable?
The
bit?
whole thing is the same. It's all the same tune. Jump to a minute. Kerry, you can't do this to me right now.
Okay, I got it. I know this song.
Okay.
Yeah. Take only what you need. Yeah, it's a 4-chord song. Part of the Axis of Awesome's 4-chord song.
Probably. I don't remember. It's been
Definitely.
a while.
I'm telling you it is.
Okay. It's been a while.
That was part of our music lessons in like year 7. They were like, go and listen to this and listen to all the songs and think about how the chords are the same.
Same here.
But also just a legitimately excellent video.
Yeah. Also a good song, good video.
Good performance.
Good songs in that song.
Yep.
Yeah, like the lesson in that was that like, hey, all these songs use the same 4 chords. But also, they're all good, so don't think of them badly because of it.
Yeah, totally. Think of how much you could do with just these 4 chords. And then there's more than 4 chords. Yeah. We had that lesson together. We learned.
Yeah.
You can't tell us we didn't.
No.
Well.
Give it a go.
It's been... What?
Give it a go.
I might. We'll see. I'm not sure. There's something else that I'm going to be talking about next week as well that I'm going to be spending a bunch of my time on this week. So we'll see how it goes. It's a busy time for starting RockSmith.
Yeah, I know. I did it fucking 3 days before I went to Games Week, like an idiot.
Well, we're just about to wrap this up. Right before we do, though, Jeremy and I did just want to bring up something briefly. This is something that doesn't directly concern the two of us or MiniMap, or it doesn't affect anyone that we know personally. But over the last 24 to 48 hours in the industry and on games Twitter, it's sort of been a bit harrowing. There's been a
fucking dreadful.
Yeah, absolutely awful. So earlier today, G4 TV. About a month ago, they experienced heavy layoffs, like 60-70% of their staff got laid off. For those that don't know, that's like an old TV-style network from ages ago. It got revived a year ago, and then today it got fully terminated. And a bunch of the people who worked really hard on it this year and have been so proud of it and have put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, found out on Twitter.
Yeah. When people were talking about like it was in a Comcast I think it was an earnings report. I think they just announced this is performed below expectations, and unfortunately
there was like a memo that came along with it.
Like we've decided to close G4 TV, and everybody that worked there found out via Twitter when other accounts were reporting on this memo that came out on a Sunday night.
Yeah, in America on a Sunday
afternoon, they found out that effective immediately they were going to be shut down, and all of their internal communications were immediately closed off. All of the Google Drive and all of the public drives they had for all their work was immediately closed off. They were just cut.
They were just done. It was over. And, this follows a long line of sort of cancellations and terminations like this. Game Informer went through some layoffs a couple of months ago. Fanbyte was basically entirely gutted. Well, there's only like 2 people working there now or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's been really awful watching this happen over the last few years, and I hope everyone there lands on their feet because regardless of the success or the metrics or the numbers, these people really cared about what they were creating, and they were treated like dirt by the people who were responsible for paying their checks basically. And it's awful to see. There were also a couple of other things that happened. Jeremy and I, in the pre-show to this stream, I've made a joke a few times the last few weeks. It's like, Jeremy, the reason why we don't have any viewers is because Amaranth is streaming, the popular hot tub streamer. on Twitch. It's like, that's the reason why we don't have any viewers. They're all over at Amaranth. With joke being that Amaranth has nothing to do why we don't have any viewers.
and we don't have any viewers.
Yeah, and we don't have any influence on Amaranth viewers either. But we didn't get to or want to make that joke this week.
No.
Because Amaranth came out yesterday revealing to her fans that she's actually married, which was being kept secret this whole time, and her husband is an abusive asshole, revealed to her audience as he abused her live on stream over the phone.
It was messages. It was like voice messages.
No, there was a conversation that happened on the stream as well that I heard.
Oh, really? Jesus! Like
a screaming conversation, screaming and crying and tears and awful.
And there's stuff like going around that he's in charge of their joint bank accounts and was threatening.
He's got all the 2-factor authentication tied to his phone.
Threatening to kill her dog. Like dreadful, horrendous, awful, abusive stuff.
Yeah. And so that's awful, and all of the people who have come out with the awful responses of, this is just for views, and I never had a shot because she was married, I've been betrayed. And so many people just coming at this from the wrong angle is so disgusting. Yeah, so awful.
Fuck Keemstar. What a piece of scum.
Yeah, other content creators jumping in on this and shining more doubt on someone who's clearly in trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, again, we don't know Amaranth. Amaranth doesn't know us, but it's not about that. It's just sort of like, just need to say that there's a lot of shit happening in the industry, and we're behind the people who have been affected most by it. There's also, over the last 24 hours, been a bunch of people coming out of the woodwork who have worked at Rooster Teeth over the past 5 to 10 years, which Jeremy and we were discussing this with friends earlier today. This is a company that we watched and looked up to and gave a lot of our time to when we were younger.
Yeah, I made community videos for Achievement Hunter when I was like 14.
Yep. I went to the first RTX Oz event in 2016. I'd saved up money and flew there on my own. It was the first time I'd done anything like that, and I did it to see these people who I'd spent so much time watching and looked up to. They're probably a big part of why I'm doing this today.
Yeah, same.
So
honestly.
many people. Yeah. And so many people, so many workers, so many awesome people in the industry and people who've been pushed out of the industry have come forward saying that they were underpaid or never paid for some contract work or all contract work, forced to do overtime for no overtime pay, just had to go through awful conditions, being called slurs on a daily basis just because that was part of the sort of the team mentality that was a joke, but really it kind of wasn't. And every time it being brought up to management, it being brushed away, people continuously being underpaid knowingly for years and years and years, this sort of chronic mismanagement from the very top. Yep. Going all the way down. It's been really, really awful to see. And it's kind of to the point where you kind of look at it and it's like anyone who's been there, who's been seeing this for as long as they have, like there's a level of complicity there.
Yeah.
That these people have been bought into. I would say everyone from, it's to some degree, everyone outside of the founders was kind of roped in by this. Like even someone like Gavin at Achievement Hunter, who's been there for so long, was initially wanting to be a part of that company because he loved the stuff they made when he was younger and he was inspired by them and he wanted to be a part of what they were creating. And that's something you see with so many of their employees from then on, inspired by and wanting to continue to create and to help and be a part of. And then when you get there, it's dreadful conditions. So many people talking about like mocap artists talking about having injuries that they're only just getting healed now because Rooster Teeth never covered the health costs, even though they said they would. And it's just so much awful stuff coming out of a company that you and I both looked up to. And so we just wanted to say that we support everyone who's come forward. And I don't think I'll be supporting Rooster Teeth ever again. No,
that company needs to honestly either completely honestly, I hope all the people that work there just find better jobs to work at, because it's there's now and every year something comes out of this fucking dumpster fire of a company. There's always a scandal. There's always a scandal at that fucking company. It keeps happening over and over and over again. And I was like, we'll do better, we'll learn, and it never happens. It's just, it continues to be like just a danger to the people that work there and the community at large, right? There's been so many scandals coming out of that company over the since they existed, basically going all the way back to before Achievement Hunter, like back when there was 2 people working at Achievement Hunter. There was shit happening way back then, right?
Definitely. And it's why it continued to happen, right? That was the foundation of what that company was built on.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of tech bros in the early 2000s who made a thing, and it was funny and people liked it, and they made a company, and maybe they didn't actually know how to make a company, but they were popular and successful enough that they could keep bumbling forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the other dreadful thing to come out was the Bayonetta voice actor went out on Twitter talking about why they're not in Bayonetta 3, and you've
been replaced by Jennifer Hale.
Yeah. Like you can go to their Twitter account to find out like more about it. But basically, they were offered $4,000 to do the entirety of Bayonetta 3, which is like just a ridiculously small amount of money.
For one of the biggest games of the year.
Yeah, right. Like, and for a franchise that is like, I think grossed like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Her name is Helena Taylor on Twitter. And then for fucking Hideki Kamiya to go out on Twitter and start blocking everybody left and right for anyone that was like saying, hey, fucking pay your workers better and all that stuff. And he was saying, no, this is all false, blah, 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 blah. And
is he like the lead at Platinum?
He's the head of Bayonetta and one of the heads at Platinum.
No.
And he was being just really like, he's always been quite rude and brash. He's famous for getting on his block list. Like people would wear like unblocked by Kamiya like a badge of honor because it's like a running joke. And he's in on that joke as well. But he became very sour in the past 24 hours and has since
for being called out. Yeah, rightfully so.
And has since deleted his account.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, Twitter's been hard to look at the last 24 hours.
Oh, just a dreadful fucking 48 hours on Twitter.
I was watching Kinda Funny's studio launch on Saturday and watching the replay on Sunday. I was watching it last night when I started to see all of this stuff, and I was late to this, and I was starting to see all this stuff. I was thinking about it, I'm like, oh man, if this happens at Kinda Funny, like I don't know what I'd do. You know, I'd be so upset and betrayed. And like if all this stuff had come out of Achievement Hunter when I was paying attention to them the most, which I wish it had, honestly, that it would have been a similar feeling. But like, there's such a betrayal of trust and it's almost like you've been manipulated, into supporting people who aren't as good as they want you to believe they are, who aren't sticking up for what they say their beliefs are.
I just checked a video that I made for Achievement Hunter fucking way back when I was 14, and it's got like almost 70,000 views.
Wow.
But it's on a channel that I don't control. So
No.
I can't take that video down. I could probably request it happen, but who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
it's rough.
I saw a comment in there which is funny, and I want to bring up because I think it's quite funny. Which is like,
what, in your YouTube video?
Yeah, on that video, someone commented like, and this is like I used a real I don't know what microphone I used. It was before I had my own microphone. I was using one of my dad's, I think, and I mixed the audio fucking dreadfully because I've never done any of that stuff before. It was genuinely the first video I'd ever made for anything. Back when I had a Dazzle capture card of capture my PS2.
Was it the Dazzle or was it the Whoopage?
No. Well, I wasn't up to the Whoopage yet. That was still $200 at that point. The Dazzle, that was $70 that I got second hand on eBay. Anyway, the audio only comes through the left channel. I think because my headphones were broken at that point, so I could only hear the left channel, not knowing that I wasn't coming out of the right. And one of the comments is, "Nice going with your gay ass mic," which I think is now very funny.
Oh my god.
Comments from like 2 years ago too.
From 2 years ago?
Yeah, still getting views.
Holy shit! Wow, so rude.
69,000 views, baby. Not on my channel.
No, yeah, that's the thing, right? So yeah, like I said, we don't have any personal stake in this aside from this is just happening in the industry, and these are groups that we once paid attention to, and we just wanted to say that we stand with everyone who has come forward and who's been wronged by these people, these supposed pillars of our industry, these supposed leaders and icons. Yeah, I'm thankful for everyone who's come forward to say something, and I'm so sorry that any of this has happened to anyone. It's been so upsetting these last couple of hours, these last couple of days. Bit of a sour note to end on, but that is the end of the show. I don't have anything else to talk about.
Nah.
I could talk about one of the comments that's happened on one of my videos on IGN.
Any good?
There was one that happened where I don't remember many comments that have happened on my videos, but there was one that was like, oh, IGN clearly can't get anyone to play games with it unless they use a controller. When I was using PC gameplay on that video, it was like, I don't know what you're picking up on here, aside from my aim's bad.
Yeah.
But then there was another one where someone said, "This person's voice, vomit emoji," and that was it. I'm like, what the fuck? What am I meant to do with that? I can't do anything with that.
That's funny.
It is funny reading comments on videos that people don't think you're ever gonna read.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna wrap up, everybody. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode of the MiniMapCast. We will be back next week with a spooky episode, a Halloweeny episode, the psychological deconstruction of Kerry Palmer potentially episode. So join us for that. We're gonna play some stuff that's spooky. Thank you for joining us to talk, as we talk about our rhythm game retrospectives and our thoughts on, what do we talk about? And our Apex Legends ranking. It was a good time. If you want to make sure you find out when every episode goes live, like I said at the start of the show, you can follow all of our socials at MiniMapAU. That is Twitter, TikTok, Twitstagram, and Twitch. That's Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch at MiniMapAU. You can follow us individually too. Jeremy is on Twitter.
He is. At Obi-Wan-Jez.
At Obi-Wan-Jez. I'm also on Twitter at KJPalmer_24. Almost forgot for a second there. You can also head to minimap.com.au for absolutely everything else Minimap related. For example, like The Pecking Order, our Kissability Pop Culture Ranking podcast. Highly recommend you give that one a watch. For those of you listening on a podcast service, make sure you give us those oh-so-tasty 5-star ratings. It does mean a lot to us. That's never going to leave the script, and I'm going to say it every other week.
I'm never going to not laugh at it.
It means a lot to us. It helps us out a bunch. And consider joining us live for the show on Twitch next week if you feel like it. It's a great time. For those of you still here with us live on Twitch, stick around. We're about to do the post-show. And if you wanted to help support us, help us keep the lights and mics on, you could do that by heading on over to patreon.com/minimapau. And for $5 you can help us, you can help us. You can ask us questions to answer on the podcast, all while helping us out greatly. See, the helping was on the start of the next line, and I read it at the same time as the start of the... Anyway. You understand. And good news for those of you in America, for example, $5 is worth like way less of your dollars. So like you're getting a bargain. You only need to spend like $2.
Sorry about your coffee though. It's probably shit house.
It is probably a shit house. Yeah. There was one final thing. Speaking of coffee, there was one time one of the people I work with in America was like, "Oh, do you think a coffee like this is strange?" And showed me a TikTok of someone holding up a coffee, and it was like a liter coffee. It was like this big. It's big as my head. I'm like, yeah, that's strange. What the fuck is that? How much caffeine's in that thing?
It's probably like a shot of caffeine. It's probably minuscule.
Yeah, I think it's like 1 or 2 shots of caffeine, a bunch of water, and a bunch of sugar.
Yeah.
It's actually just
and
like
a bunch of cream.
It's like an iced coffee in the same way like a Lipton iced tea is an iced tea. You know, it's just sugar.
Like a whole stick of butter.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go, everyone. Stick around to the post show if you're live with us in chat. We'll be back next week. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you then.